Meredith, let's go over your zoo versus wild compare and contrast block document. I saw your note on Jupiter grades. I'm not sure what happened either. Um, I've already have reviewed this once, and I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if the YouTube video did not go up right or what, but we're going to go through it. It puts us a little behind, but at the same time, you haven't had to do a lot of revisions on some of the other assignments, so we are going to be fine to finish up the school year. I'm not worried about that, even though we've feel like we've missed a whole week. But let's go over your essay. It's a compare and contrast in a block format where you're addressing one type of confinement, one type of lifestyles for animals, and then another type of lifestyles for animals. The main thing I see here is, well, there's three things that I'm going to have you change. One, I want you to work on this conclusion. There's just not enough there. And it could be there's not enough there because the topic is a little bit limited. And sometimes that happens when we pick a topic. We've got to get a topic with kind of like meat on its bones, so to speak. And we need to put some meat into this topic. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to work on the conclusion. And I'm going to track my changes so that you can get this back. So we're going to work on this conclusion. And another thing we're going to add, and I'm going to have you do some more research, is we're going to add a third type of lifestyle. And that third type of lifestyle is going to be animals in animal sanctuaries. And so I'm going to put it here. And we're going to add a block paragraph about animals in sanctuaries. And then the third thing, so we're going to add another compare and contrast. And then the third thing I want you to do is we're going to bump up the vocabulary a little bit on this essay. I'm going to have you change at least 5 verbs to stronger verbs and add at least 5 quality adjectives. And I'm going to have you revise at least 5 sentences. You can do more to begin with ing. You're writing in this one, and I think it's because there's just not a lot of meat to this subject. It's simplistic, and I know from your previous writing that you have the skills to make it more of a high school level paper. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to do some examples with you, and then I'm going to have you work on it and resubmit it. And one way, let's go through and let's make some of the changes to bump up the essays a little bit. And I haven't even done I'm trying to see if this one does the word count. It doesn't. Some programs will tell you what level you're writing on. I'm looking to see if this one has it on this computer. I don't think it does. Which it's really nice if your computer has it. Let's see if it's here. And that way it tells you about what grade level you're writing on. It must have been on my other computer. Yeah, I don't see it. But I can tell it, it's a little simplistic for your writing style. And so what you do, and let's get rid of this extra period here. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through and find a verb that you think is contained. The animals are contained in a certain space, so there is less room for them to run and walk. And then right click on it and look at your synonyms. And what word would be more appropriate for a high school student? And I would pick enclosed. The animals are enclosed in a certain space. Or the animals are kept in an enclosed space. And I kind of even like that better. The animals are, how about housed in an enclosed space? That to me is a little more high school writing. So I want you to make at least 5 changes for strong verbs. So house is better than contained, and you can go through it and pick out verbs. And a lot of powerful writing is in the verbs. The verbs give power to our writing. Let's see what else we could say. How about they are fed? Let's see if this, and not all of them are going to come up with a good option, and you may be able to think of some options on your own. How about improve? Let's see if we've got any good synonyms. No. You can have it do the thesaurus, and that might give you some more options. Oh, improve, develop, progress, advance. Let's see. However, this still doesn't help. No, I don't think any of those are good choices. So that's what you're going to do. You can use the right click. You can get to a thesaurus. Now consume, that's a good strong verb. Go back up here. And then quality adjectives. Let me look for a quality adjective. Let's just look at this one. No. And inferior is better. One way animals, zoo animals' lifestyles are inferior to wild animals is their socialization. So that was a quality adjective. Inferior. And then this was a strong verb change. And you can just go through and pick words that you think might be a little lower than high school level and see if you can bump up at least 10 of these strong verbs and quality adjectives. Are treated with medical care. Let's see if we can find one. No. And then you can also just go and, oh, this is a site I want to show you. Go to dictionary.com and it has a thesaurus up here. And treated. Let's see what the thesaurus comes up with. See, I would think managed would be better. This is because zoo animals are managed or have managed medical care. Okay, so I'm not going to keep changing them. I'm going to let you pick out what you choose to do. And then the ing, and this is just so that you have a variety of sentences. A lot of your sentences are starting the same way, and I want to see a variety of sentences. And so we're just going to practice some ing. You've got 5 paragraphs, so we're going to try and change one sentence starting with to start it with a gerund. Let's try this one. In fact, the lifestyles between zoo animals and wild animals are similar and different in more ways than one. This comes down to the animal socialization, exercise, lifespan, and eating habits. And this looks like your thesis sentence here. So let's see what we can put in. Yeah, let me just keep looking through here. How about right here because we already have an ing. Living conditions can be very different for an animal. And let's do for a caged animal, for a caged elephant. Living conditions can be very different for a caged animal versus an elephant in the wild. Okay, so just work on the ing. Let's start 5 sentences with ing. Make it a target to switch one of them per paragraph. We're going to go up on some stronger verbs and some quality adjectives. So that gives you one per paragraph. Change to just make it into a more high school level writing. The second one is we're going to add a block paragraph for sanctuary animals, and you already have all of your information in order. So let's just let's see what you have here. I have your document. Let me get it open here. Here we go. So we have socialization, exercise, lifespan, and food. Socialization, exercise, lifespan, and food. And one site you can go to is, this is in Arkansas. We have our elephant sanctuary here in Arkansas, and it's a sanctuary where elephants that have been retired can go live. Some of them have been abused, so that's kind of sad. But they live on, let's see if I can, they don't live in cages. They live more in the wild, but they have all the benefits of a zoo animal and the protection of a zoo animal, but they don't have some of the negatives of a zoo animal in that they have more socialization. They have the ability to roam. This used to have a lot of pictures on it. Oh, darn. And so I want you to try and find a source like this. You can use this source if you want, but you might have another source. And there's a lot of sanctuaries that are managed for elephants and other types of animals. And this one just happens to be in Arkansas. I've always wanted to go to it. But you can see it looks like they're in the wild. And they used to even have some webcams going on. See, this elephant was a circus performer. Another circus performing elephant. But so I want you to add a paragraph about, so this paragraph is going to be about sanctuary. And then, since we have that paragraph, that's going to help you with that conclusion. Because then you're going to have something to persuade your readers to do. It's evident that both of the lifestyles have their differing benefits. And so you will probably find, and I don't know, you might find something else, but I'm guessing you're going to find that sanctuary animals kind of have the best of both worlds. Now, how they get there may not be very pleasant, though. Maybe for the zoo animals it's not very pleasant either. So when you do your conclusion, you can lean one way or another without saying I think or you should do. So add that in, and hopefully that will help you beef up your conclusion. And hopefully you'll come up with something such as without a doubt, sanctuary living for exotic animals is superior to zoo life. Sanctuary living, sanctuaries, I can't spell sanctuaries. Sanctuaries provide the best of both worlds for, and I like to call animals that are being kept in captivity for ambassadors from the wild. There is medical care, protection from predators. So it gives you something to lean towards and come up with I didn't even get it close enough for spell check to get it. There it is. Okay. So those are the ways I want you to improve your essay. 5 INGs, 5 strong verb changes, 5 quality adjectives. You can use the dictionary thesaurus, you can use the right click, but let's get this up to high school vocabulary. Include a block paragraph following the same format as the other ones, but do sanctuary animals. And then in this conclusion, I want you to come to a conclusion about, when you compare and contrast, which one offers the best benefit to zoo animals. And you know, the zoo animal one that you have, it really depends on the zoos. I've been to zoos where the animals are not very well maintained, and I'm sorry that I spent money there because of the way the animals were kept. And now I think the zoo animals' life is much better than it was. But, you know, in your compare and contrast, you can lean towards sanctuary living for animals. And it still provides people access to the animals, but it doesn't have a lot of the negatives that come along with the confinement in a zoo. So I want you to kind of develop this a little bit more. And then another thing that I was thinking of, you don't have your works cited page, so go ahead and start working on that. I know you already had some sources on your pre-writing, but like if you decided to use this, let's just go back to the home page here. Just, oh my. Just take and copy and paste that. And we're going to use MLA. Put in your website. And even though they couldn't find that, they put what they could. And then we need this to copy and paste. But it also shows your parenthetical if you want to. Okay, here we have our copy and paste. And then take it and copy and paste it in here. And of course we need it right here, and we also need special hanging indent for this thing. And we need it the same size, and you use times, so we need it in times. So that's what you can do as each time you access something and read it, you can copy it to your works cited page. And what else was I going to say? Oh, parenthetical. The parenthetical is if you make a quote from it. And so here's the parenthetical. That is a big parenthetical. That's because there's no author, and that's one reason it's good to make quotes from actual people, because then you just have to put the last name. So you might just read it but not quote it, but you might find a good quote. It's a good start. Just want to take it up a notch and add a little more controversy for it so that you can get some meat to your conclusion and to the whole essay. So start thinking about that too. You can point out the good and bad of each situation and then come to a conclusion. But don't use you or I in your writing, in this type of writing, research writing. And I'll make a list of these things, but basically it's 5 INGs, 5 strong verbs, 5 quality adjectives, adding a paragraph for sanctuary living, and work on that conclusion. And of course your works cited page. And like I said, I still think we're okay even though something happened in the video before. But when you get it done, text me so that we can go ahead and get this. We've got 4 weeks left, and next we'll be converting this into another compare and contrast, just in a different organization. That's the end of the video.